everybody, and welcome to Cozy Cards and Crystals. My name is Joanna, and today it's time to start a new video series here on my channel. Today, I invite you to part one of Card Change, which is basically tarot mods to the extreme. With some decks, I love the artwork so much, and I really want to work with them and love them and connect to them, but there's just one or two things that keep me from doing so. And I know when I change these one or two things, then that will change the way I connect to these cards or to that deck. And when I'm really sure that that extreme mod will actually make me love this deck and use this deck, and it's really just that specific aspect of that deck that really holds me off from loving it, then I will do these extreme or more extreme mods. Um, when I'm not sure about it and I can't wrap my head around what is actually the reason why I can't connect with the deck or I'm not excited to using it, then I won't do a mod like that. Um, so for the first part, I decided to show you three decks specifically that I already have modded during the time where I haven't been on TarotTube a lot and I took a break. Um, and so I have the resource to show you guys and also talk a little bit about what I have done and why I have done that to these decks. They are all successful mods because now that they are modded that way, I actually use these decks regularly and love them. So first of all, let's start with the first project that I did, which is an oracle deck actually. This is the Journey of Love Oracle. So my issue with this deck, and let's show some of the cards here, is that these cards had titles instead of keywords on them. And so you have the artwork by Rasuli, and the guidebook is written by Alana Fairchild, and you have poetry in the guidebook as well by Richard Cohn. And so as you can see, these titles like Angel of Jupiter Awakened, The Pearl Threaded, um, 321. Well, if you are in focus, there you can see it, aren't necessarily titles where you can work a lot with. Burning Hero, I mean, you get a sense of burning that you can work with. The Cloak, you get a sense of something being veiled, maybe. But I wanted this deck to be a little bit more specific. And also, when you read the guidebook, I know Alana Fairchild is a really well-known author and writer for guidebooks for mass market decks, and I don't have anything against her, but her writing style is just not my cup of tea, because I don't know how this looks in her other decks, but with this one, in the guidebook entries actually um, you get a lot of text, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. But when you read through them, at least in my opinion, it's basically rambling about the same thing that you could formulate in one or two sentences. And it's overly blah blah and overly not to the point and overly like, oh, my child and my thing and beautiful one and all of that stuff. And that's just not a wording that I vibe with. And especially the fact that it's basically saying the same thing over and over again. So it looks like a really in-depth entry for each of the cards, but it's basically not, at least in my opinion. So for it to being a useful deck for me, because I really love the artwork of Rasuli, I love the amount of cards that they were in, and I really wanted to work with it, but I just couldn't because I couldn't get anything out of the titles, and I couldn't, it really goes on my nerves to read these entries in a way. So I sat down, I looked at every card of this deck. I read every entry of the for each of the cards in the guidebook, and as you can see, I actually summarized what the entry was saying in my own little keywords right there. So that way I just had to read through the entries once, and then I had my keywords on there, and I actually put the keywords on the cards with like a metallic gold marker, so that I wasn't dependent on using the guidebook. And what I also found was that there were some cards that were basically too similar or almost the same in terms of their meaning for me. So I also went through and put these cards out of the deck because they felt similar to the ones that I already had in the deck, and because the deck had so many cards in there, I didn't feel the need to have them all in there. So that is basically what I did. I also etched it in purple to match the backs. Um, and so now, since I have this with some of the cards, I also decided to put my own meaning on there. So when I did that whole thing of sorting out the cards that felt like there was already a card with that meaning in the deck, I put some of these cards, looked through the images, and put some of the cards actually in the deck, and just put my own association or energy that I got from the artwork on it. So I also have cards in here like this one, which just represent the elements, and that wasn't a keyword that I got from the guidebook, which all of these were from, but that I got from looking yeah, from the image actually. And so now, and some I didn't put anything on there because the title actually made sense to me, like Becoming. You can get something out of that during a reading, or the Swan. I had an association with that already. And so now that I've done this whole thing, here's my air card. I really love using this deck. And it really surprised me. I used it during the month of December together with the tarot deck because I love to pair up my decks. And I really, really fell in love with that pairing. And so yeah, I'm actually happy that I did that whole process of reading that whole guidebook, putting the keywords on there, sorting the cards out that feel duplicate, and all of that stuff. Because now I have an oracle deck that I really, really love, and that really has a lot of cards, a lot of meanings, is balanced in light and shadow, has amazing artwork, and that it works for me. Another one that I did a mod to the extreme is this one. The universe has your back. What I did with this, as you can see, is a whole thing. So I cut basically the cards down. I first went through the deck and sorted out the cards that this method wouldn't work because there was too much text on the cards. And so I hadn't enough space without any words on it, so I couldn't use them. And then I basically looked at how far or how big I can actually make the cards, so that it fits for every card, that I don't have text on them. And this was the size that I came out with that fit every card, so that I could actually trim off the text from each card and have them at the same size. And then I either went through the message that was on that specific card and picked one keyword that I really liked out of that whole phrase or affirmation, or I just looked at the artwork or the colors that were left and put a keyword on there that I got the feeling, or that color or image or artwork triggered a feeling in me. And so this one, for example, I really got a sense of um, gummy bears, of summer, the sun with all these gold colors, citrus fruits. And so it really made me happy. And so I wrote happy end on there. With others, it didn't really work. So I still had a little bit of the text on there, but that text really worked. So I just lined that off, and now I only have I accept, and that is a word that I can work with, or that works for me. Here we have hope, so that works for me. And now this has become a deck that I that is actually the accompanying oracle deck for my Moonchild tarot, and that is the deck combination that I use for my full moon readings. And the reason why I did this with this deck is because I love the production quality. The cardstock is amazing. It is beautiful matte. It has a soft finish to it, but the cards aren't gripping or sticking together. And I just love the vibe, the color palette, and the art style. But so much so that I couldn't give this deck away because I really wanted that artwork, but I just couldn't with the messages. They feel so samey to me and so much over the top that they really annoyed me. And so I wanted to keep most of the artwork as I could, or as I was able to, and just made my own oracle deck out of it. And as I said, now I love it to use on my full moon readings together with the Moonchild Tarot. So this was a whole other project. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys is this little deck. Um, these are images from the Monstarot by Joanna Nelson that I have, scanned and then uploaded it on a platform like Make Playing Cards, just German speaking printer, put my own keywords on there, and ordered that deck. So I actually created an oracle deck out of the Monstarot. And the reason why I did that, first of all, it's important for you to know that I only did this for me. I haven't uploaded it anywhere else or sold it or sell it or doing anything like that, because I'm not able to and I don't have the right to, and that is completely the right way because it's not my artwork, it's not my creation. Um, and second of all, I have owned the Mons Tarot by Joanna Nelson. I also own her Whispering Spirit Tarot. I love that creator. I love her art style. I love her as a person. I follow her on Instagram. And the reason why I did it is because the Whispering Spirits Tarot actually connected to me on a whole other level than the Mons Tarot did. And so I wanted an accompanying oracle deck to go with the Whispering Spirits. Um, and at the same time, I didn't really feel the need to have two tarot decks by Joanna Nelson because they really felt similar in terms of the energy that I got from them, or for the readings that I was intended to use them, which are inner child readings. And because Joanna Nelson's artwork is so unique with her own art style, I decided to just put some of the cards that didn't feel too tarot-y in a way, or that I could come up with a keyword or a sentence. and use them or create an oracle deck out of them. So that I have a fitting oracle deck for the Whispering Spirits Tarot. At the time that I did that, she hadn't created an oracle yet. I know now that there's the Little Bugs oracle or something like that, and I want to get that one. And I couldn't find any other oracle deck to really match her art style and the vibe of the Whispering Spirits, and so that is the reason why I did that. So this is what my tarot and oracle deck mods 2D extremes um, are. And for this series, I actually plan to. I have some more decks that I want to mod in a more extreme way than just etching or cutting the borders off. And I want to take you with me through that process. And I want to do at least part of it on camera as well, and then show you the results in the end. Because this is a thing that I don't do very often. This will be really irregular video series. Just keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, let me know, give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below what do you think about the mods that I showed you guys right now. Is this a video series or a topic for videos that you enjoy watching? What are your mods that you did? Are there any decks that you are considering modding in an extremer way? Would you actually do it in this extreme way, or are you anxious about it? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, you guys. Bye.